Last week in my What's Real, What's Fake video upload, I said that the Saints were the best team in the NFC. And even after the loss Monday night to the Raiders, I still want to believe that. I want to believe that the Saints are the best team in the NFC. You can't deny the fact that this is a deep team in New Orleans. They're deep at the receiver position. Jared Cook, great tight end, good running game, one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. Even though the defense was piss poor on Monday night, this isn't all that unusual for the Saints defense. If you followed this team for the last several years, the defense, they tend to get off to a slow start to begin the season. So I'm not worried about the Saints defense. They have an elite secondary, great linebackers, great defensive front. I'm not worried about the Saints on special teams. I'm not worried about the coaching staff. The Saints have one of the best coaching staffs in the NFL. What I am worried about, for the first time since 2006, I am overly concerned about Drew Brees. I speak on here all the time about not overreacting to things. I try not to overreact to just one game, even 1 month. Things in the NFL can change quickly. There was no preseason this year, so it was expected that some teams were going to struggle a bit at the start of the season. But none of that has anything to do with why I am worried right now about Drew Brees. The past 2 years, Drew Brees has fallen off in December and into the playoffs. At 41 years old, I don't expect him to be able to throw 40, 50-yard bombs. I don't expect him to be laser accurate down the field like he was in his prime years. But right now, Drew Brees can't throw the ball 15 yards down the field accurately. Monday night against the Raiders, the Saints attempted exactly 0 passes of 20 or more yards. If you just looked at Drew Brees' stat line, you would think that he had a pretty good game. Completed 68% of his passes, 312 yards, 91.1 quarterback rating, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Statistically, not a bad game, right? Wrong. I thought Drew Brees was absolutely terrible Monday night. I thought he was terrible week 1 against Tampa. He made some interesting comments after the game on Monday. Drew Brees said, quote, "My job is to execute the offense. My job's not to have the most air yards or throw the ball down the field most or anything like that." End quote. I found that interesting because he's right. His job is to execute the offense. And the Saints are terrible offensively right now. Sean Payton is known to have the most extensive offensive playbook in the NFL. Have you ever seen one of the play cards that he holds during the game? It's full, front to back, top to bottom, with different plays. The Saints run more different formations than any other team in the league. Yet, it feels like Sean Payton's playbook is limited because of the limitations of Drew Brees and his arm. Like I said earlier, we have seen this happen late in the season the past couple of years. But now, it's happening in week 1, week 2. I mean, this is concerning. Drew Brees and the Saints have gone from being one of the most difficult offenses to defend to one of the most predictable offenses in the league. The first quarter or 2 of the game, they're fine. When Sean Payton is running his scripted plays, the Saints are clicking. But after that, it's like the opposing defenses know what's coming. Screen pass to Alvin Kamara. Slant route to Michael Thomas. Watch the Raiders and the Tampa defenses the first 2 weeks this season. They know all they have to cover is 10 to 15 yards and up because Drew Brees no longer has the ability to beat defenses deep. So far this season, Drew Brees is averaging 4.82 air yards on his pass attempts. Now, obviously, he's dead last in the NFL right now in that category. And it's the lowest of any quarterback through the first 2 weeks of the year since way back in 2009 when Brett Favre did it at 40 years old. Now, some might say, Well, it's been this way for the past couple of years, and Drew Brees has still managed to keep the Saints top 10 offensively and win the division, make the playoffs. Which is true. But there's a difference this year. The past 2 years, Drew Brees has been the most accurate passer in the history of the league. That has not been the case so far this season. Even on short passes, which are 99% of his throws, Drew Brees has been wildly inaccurate, at least to his standards. He's only completing 65% of his throws. But that's still okay. But the thing about it is he's not the surgeon that he used to be in the pocket. Drew Brees used to be an assassin, and he just hasn't been that the first 2 weeks of this year. At times, he just looks uncomfortable in the pocket. He's rushing decisions, missing open receivers, throwing balls low. The arm strength is gone, or it looks to be gone. I mean, this is the worst I have seen of Drew Brees his entire tenure in New Orleans. I'm not blaming Drew Brees for the loss on Monday night to the Raiders. The Saints as a team are discombobulated right now. They lead the league in penalties. I mean, you can't win when you're committing 10 plus penalties a game. It's just not possible. The defense, even though they're talented, they haven't played to the level that we've seen them play the past 3 years. And like I said earlier, that has been the case the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season the last few years. So I'm not worried about the defense. They will come around. But for the first time in his career, I am concerned with Drew Brees. And I'm starting to have serious doubts that he's going to be able to carry this team through the season. I realize the offseason was far from normal. I realize it's going to take time to develop chemistry with guys like Emmanuel Sanders. But Drew Brees has an advantage that many other quarterbacks didn't have coming into this season. The bulk of the Saints offense, he's been playing with for 3, 4, 5 years. So familiarity isn't the issue, like it is for somebody like Tom Brady in Tampa. I'll be honest, as a Saints fan, I'm torn right now with the Drew Brees situation. On one hand, you want to think with your heart, and you want to say Drew Brees should be allowed to play for the Saints for as long as he wants. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. He's the greatest quarterback in the history of the New Orleans Saints. This city was devastated in 2005 after Hurricane Katrina. And Drew Brees, his family, the Saints as an organization, they played a big part in the rebirth of New Orleans. And Drew Brees led the charge. Without Drew Brees, I don't know where New Orleans would be today. So for all that he's done for New Orleans, I want to say that he should be the Saints quarterback until he decides to retire. But at the same time, I'm a realist, and that's just not realistic. I said this before the season. This season is literally Super Bowl or bust for the Saints. They have finagled their salary cap the past 2 or 3 years to keep this team in Super Bowl contention. And they mortgaged their future in the process. The first payment on that mortgage coming due next season. So the Saints are in a predicament. If Drew Brees is no longer capable of producing at a high level, what do? Do you let him continue to play? Possibly have no chance at the Super Bowl? Or do you insert Jameis Winston? Maybe even Taysom Hill? I believe Sean Payton brought in Jameis Winston for this very reason. Sean Payton knows Drew Brees better than anybody. He sees him in practice every day, and he has seen the drop-off the past couple of years. He knows that there is a decline. We all know that. I feel like Sean Payton is where Bill Belichick was this time last year. And actually, you could make the case that Sean Payton is where Bill Belichick was several years ago when he had Jimmy Garoppolo on the sideline waiting to take over, and Tom Brady was not willing to give up his position. With Jameis Winston, the Saints playbook is wide open. Now, obviously, he doesn't know the offense in the playbook as well as Drew Brees does, but Jameis Winston is not limited physically. He can still, throw the ball 10, 15 yards down the field. Look, I don't want to doubt Drew Brees. I don't. I've seen him in slumps before, and he comes out of them, and he'll be playing at an MVP level. But it feels differently this time. This time it doesn't feel like a slump. It feels like a massive physical regression because of his age. And if that's the case, there is nothing that Drew Brees can do about it. If he continues to play at this level the next 3 or 4 weeks, Sean Payton is going to have a decision to make. When you have Jameis Winston on the sideline, a quarterback capable of leading the offense, if of course he can limit his turnovers, but capable nonetheless, then it's not fair to the rest of the players in New Orleans to continue playing Drew Brees if he can't perform at a high level. I am hoping it doesn't come to that. I'm hoping that Drew Brees can turn things around. I am hoping that the Saints offense starts clicking. But if it doesn't, there's going to be a difficult conversation taking place between Sean Payton and Drew Brees. All right, that's all for today. Hit that like and subscribe button. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Leave me a comment in the section below. Drew Brees, will he be the starting quarterback in New Orleans all season? Or do you think Sean Payton is going to have to make a difficult decision to go with Jameis Winston or maybe Taysom Hill? Let me know your thoughts. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Have any questions, a topic you'd like me to discuss, you can email me at BTLKC84@gmail.com. I'll see you guys next time.